Hi, everyone. Great to see you. I can see Nyevu Karisa has just joined us. Nyevu, you're all welcome. It's good to see you here. If you don't mind, you can just turn on your video and introduce yourself to everyone who's on the call. Or if that's too much, you can also just unmute yourself and just introduce yourself to us.
Hello. Excuse me, caught me off guard. Good afternoon. My name is Nyevu Karisa. I am effective communications coach with Less Stress Communications, and I'm glad to be here.
Wow, awesome. Good to meet you, Nyevu. Are you also based in Mombasa?
I am originally, currently I reside in Nairobi.
Ah, all right. That's great. That's great. Good to have you.
Yeah.
Good to have you here, Nyevu.
Thank you. Hi, Cindy.
Hey, Nyevu.
We will start in a short while. In the meantime, we can see Dr. Paul has also joined us. Dr. Paul, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I'm well.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
I can also see we have Nziza with us here, and I know we'll get to listen to her and Dr. Paul in a few. So everyone, welcome, welcome. We are so glad that you are here, and I hope that we are going to have an awesome time. So as we are about to kick off, I'd like for everyone to just go to the chat room and kindly put down one word, at the very most 2 words that can best describe your week so far. So a word or 2 words that best describe your week so far. So just put that on the chat box as we get to begin. Let's see how the week has been for most of us. Just go to the chat box and put a word or 2 that best describe your week so far. I'm really excited and eager to see what everyone has. Oh, I can see Cindy has put up uphill. Wow. Nyevu evolving. And definitely, Nyevu is in line with the theme that we are going to talk about this evening. So that's great to hear from you, Nyevu. All right, so we are going to start. And as we do that, may I request that we rename ourselves. So all you need to do is just hover to the right corner of your video. You'll see 3 dots there. From there, you'll be able to rename yourself. So put your name and your business. I can see Paul Mango has already done it. So just put your name and your business so that we can be able to connect more and get to interact even as we proceed with our conversation this afternoon. Just proceed to rename yourself. You can put your name and your business. We'd like to hear a bit more about what you do and your entrepreneurship journey. And it will also be very easy for the rest of the participants to also get to interact with you even as we move forward. So please rename yourself, and then we can be able to start. All right, I can see Less Stress Com. I can see Amra Healthcare, MombasaWorks is here, AMI. Great stuff, great stuff. Thank you for being awesome students this evening. You can clap for yourselves. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, as we begin, allow me to introduce the moderators and guides for this particular occasion. So I'm Harold Angila. I work for AMI as a customer growth specialist, and I'll get to tell you a bit more about who AMI is and what we get to do and how you can plug it into that. And with me is the lovely and amazing Cindy Ondego, founder of MombasaWorks, and she's going to take us through quite a bit of today's session. So Cindy, welcome. Please, you can unmute yourself, let us hear your voice, and also you'll get the chance to introduce our panelists for today.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Harold, for that. As Harold said, my name is Cindy. I run MombasaWorks, which I'll get an opportunity to tell you about shortly. Harold, am I to proceed now with the background of MombasaWorks?
Sure.
Can I go ahead? No, I'm introducing our panelists. Apologies.
Yes, all right.
Okay. It's my great pleasure to be able to introduce two fantastic entrepreneurs, Mombasa-based entrepreneurs, who will be the panelists for this discussion. I will begin with Nzisa Musyoki. Nzisa is the founder of Kufamba Africa, which is a boutique travel agency based here in Mombasa, but operating with operations across the region, I'd say. Nzisa actually founded Kufamba in 2012, but actually would sort of transition fully into it in 2018. She has an academic background in IT and has worked in a number of startups in the region, supporting their IT teams. So Nzisa, it is a pleasure to have you, and we can't wait to hear about your experiences transitioning, particularly in the last 18 months.
Thank you.
It is also my absolute pleasure to introduce Dr. Paul Mango. Dr. Paul is the founder of Amra Herbal Clinic and also an alumnus of the Africa AMI program. Paul is also the founder of another organization in the transport sector. So I think it's safe to say that he's probably a serial entrepreneur. He has recently represented Kenya and has been nominated as the best CEO in alternative medicines. And for that, we applaud you and congratulate you. And we also cannot wait to hear more about your ventures and your experience transitioning. So karibu sana, Dr. Paul.
Wow. Thank you so much, Cindy. And clearly, you can tell that we have a very good panel that is going to take us through our conversation today. And just before we get to that, we'd like to hear more about what everyone here is doing and also just get a chance to connect with each other. So we want to go into our breakout rooms, and we are going to discuss two main things. Number one, we want you to introduce your business to the people you will be with in the breakout rooms. And secondly, we'd want to hear from you about the impact that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on your business. So we would love to connect with you on these two levels. So number one, just share with us what your business does. And secondly, also let us know what kind of impact COVID-19 has had on your business. And Rita, if you don't mind, you can kindly take us to our breakout rooms, because we are so excited to get to have this conversation with one another.
Okay, the breakout rooms, there are 3 breakout rooms we've created. So there should be an option for you to join, for all of you to join a breakout room. So please go ahead and do that. Hey, Patrick.
Thank you, Joseph, for joining in. I can see Kibe is also here with us. That is awesome. I can also see Comfort. Comfort is also here. And I know we'll get to talk a bit more about your experience. Rita, Cindy, everyone who's here, thank you for joining us. It seems people are, those are very interesting conversations. And people wanted to continue with discussing how COVID has impacted their businesses. So I will just get to hear from a few of us. So is there anyone who wants to go first and share with us what they discussed in their group? Anyone who's brave enough to start us off? You can just unmute yourself. You can also put your video if you want to, and get to share with us what you picked from your group discussion.
I guess I'll start. I'll break the ice.
Thank you, Nievu.
We didn't get to all of us share. I think it's only Veronica and myself who shared. Patrick was starting and then we'll pull back to the main room. But from Veronica does co-host in Kenya, where they help you host your home, like an Airbnb kind of thing, host your home, extra home that you have for them. And she said 2019 is when they started as a joke, but now it's a business that's picked up. And 2020 was really, really, really rough for them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you. Joseph, could we get to hear a bit about what you discussed in the groups, or probably you can let us hear how COVID impacted your business?
All right. Good evening again. I'm happy to have you today. So far, so good. What we discussed, we mentioned some few issues about COVID-19, especially on transport sector, whereby those people who are dealing with transport service, they've got a very big problem when they reduce the number of passengers in their vehicles, and it really affected their income for that case, especially those who are working for them. So those who are concerned for that case, at least they are saying they are coping up with the situation right now as the situation is coming back to usual. but it has really put down their income and their businesses for that case. Although there is one who said that he picked up another business at that particular time, which encouraged me so much that as much as we are complaining about the COVID-19, but others also got a chance, especially online systems, whereby they developed some few things here and there that have managed to pick up as so far. Thank you so much, Harold.
Thank you, Joseph, and thank you for sharing. Definitely, I can tell that we have the right people in the building. We have the right people in the building, and I'm sure the conversation that we are going to have is going to be very beneficial. All right, so allow me to just let you know what is going to happen in the course of our interaction this evening. So we'll get to hear a bit more from MombasaWorks team led by Cindy, and then also from AMI, just to get to hear what these two organizations are doing to work with entrepreneurs and how you can plug in and ensure that your business gets to partner with the right people. Thereafter, we'll get to hear of the amazing opportunity offered by AMI under the Survive to Thrive program, and we'll also get to let you know how you can plug into that. Thereafter, we'll transition to the amazing panel discussion where we'll have Paul and Cesar take us through this valuable topic of business transition that we are all eager to hear about, and then we'll finish off with a Q&A. So I hope that you'll have a good time. I intend to have a good time, and I'm sure at the end of today, this will feel like a 5-minute engagement. It's going to be that awesome. So without much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, put your digital hands together and let's welcome Cindy, who's going to take us through MombasaWorks and how we can be able to be part of their awesome story. So you can just do that or do what Neva's done so that we can make Cindy feel very welcome this evening. Over to you, Cindy.
Thank you very much, Harold. And yeah, I'm also equally looking forward to this discussion and the panel and their experiences. Give me a second as I just share my screen. So I can just give you a very brief overview of us at MombasaWorks and what we do. So I hope you can all see my screen. So as Harold said, I'm Cindy and I am the director at MombasaWorks. I am here today with Rita, who's also on this call, and she is our outreach coordinator. So we are a team of 5. Two of us are here with you today. So MombasaWorks, we are a flexible office provider and an entrepreneur support organization, Mombasa. We like to think of ourselves as business enablers, and we do this by providing flexible office facilities and offering business support services, as well as opportunities to network, to collaborate, and opportunities for peer learning amongst our members. Our vision is to support growth, local growth, and see impact in this region. And to just serve as a platform that demonstrates the various ways in which Mombasa works. So really just breaking the stereotypes that we have about working and doing business in Mombasa and entrepreneurship and the innovation landscape and ecosystem here. And to demonstrate that there is indeed an ecosystem here, there are entrepreneurs, there are innovative ideas, and we serve as a platform to do that, to demonstrate that. So we, as part of our offering, we have flexible office facilities, and we have now 2 locations. We have one in Nyali, which is, I think everybody maybe will be familiar with Mombasa. So Nyali is off the island towards the north, and we have a location there. And we have one in the CBD, which we opened earlier this year. Our locations have meeting rooms. We have open plan co-working options. And we also have private office suites in the CBD. Everything is on demand and payable by the hour when you need it, and for as long as you need it. Our community we're proud of having grown in the last 3 years. We serve small and growing businesses. We serve independent or solo entrepreneurs, professional services sector. We serve Nairobi-based SMEs who are looking for a place to land in Mombasa and expand into this region. and as well as non-for-profits as well, who are operating programs in the region and find Mombasa as a good place to operate from. So our community is varied, and that's our strength, really. And the next slide, sorry, there we go. How do you engage with us? As I said, if you want access to affordable and on-demand office and meeting spaces, we are here for you at 2 of our locations. Please reach out to myself or Rita after this, as well as the email address and phone numbers on the last slide. We have an active community that is also not necessarily, they don't need office space, but they are interested in our learning events and programs and our network of entrepreneur support organizations, for example, like AMI, who want to come and offer services in Mombasa. So join our mailing list, let us know, and we'll be very, very happy to share with you opportunities that come our way. And if you're interested in business support, again, through the same network of partners that we have, and soon to launch a partnership that we have with a business support organization that will be able to offer the full sort of comprehensive package, from fundraising support to coaching, to internal processes and system support. So feel free to please just reach out to us. I'm sure we're able to address any concerns you may have. And this is our contact. And we are on social media at MombasaWorks. So thanks very much. Harold, back to you.
Thank you so much, Cindy. And indeed, you are doing an amazing work. I love those photos. They're very inviting. So if you are in Mombasa, or you'll probably get a chance in the couple months coming just to go down there, please make a point to visit MombasaWorks and get to see if you can plug into the amazing story that they are creating. All right, so allow me to, yes? Hello?
No, go ahead.
All right. Allow me to introduce AMI. So we are African Management Institute. Some people call us AMI in short, others called us AMI. And we accept all those. We are good people that way. So we are a Pan-African organization that enables ambitious businesses across Africa to thrive. All right. And what we do is we equip entrepreneurs and managers across Africa with practical tools and learning that can enable them to get to succeed, even as they get to build their businesses. The reason why we do this is because we believe that skilled people build thriving businesses, and thriving businesses are able to create quality jobs, and quality jobs drive prosperity and dignity. So we are here to ensure that the African story gets to be narrated in the right context, especially with regard to entrepreneurs and how they get to build their businesses. So MI has been in existence since 2014. And currently we have a staff of over 70 with offices and presence in a couple of countries, including Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, South Africa, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and Rwanda. And we hope that in the course of our discussion today, you'll get to see the amazing opportunities that we have for you so that you can get to plug in. All right. So that being said, since 2014 to date, we have been able to train over 36,000 entrepreneurs and business owners across 39 countries in Africa. And 2 years back, COVID came into the picture, and that kind of distorted how people used to think about how they're going to do their businesses. I mean, you clearly know that entrepreneurship is not a walk in the park, and entrepreneurship in Africa, to be specific, is also not a walk in the park. Then now introducing COVID into the equation, that really set very many businesses to start looking for various ways in which they can be able to navigate the different challenges that they are facing. And it's in this backdrop that we were able to develop this amazing business program called Survive to Thrive, which is our response to help business owners like yourself to be able to build for resilience and get to grow. And then we also realize that entrepreneurs are very unique, all right? They're not like everyone else. So how would we be able to have them go through the training and ensure that they're still able to run their businesses? So what we decided to do was to design this program in a manner that it was going to support the busy and ambitious business owners across Africa. And what we intend to do in this manner is to help you overcome the different barriers towards growth so that you're able to build up a very resilient business, even in this context that we are now operating on, all right? The other thing that we get to do is to grow your leadership skills and also just help your team to embrace the entrepreneurial mindset that you already have so that they can give you the necessary support that you need, even as you get to grow your business. The other aspect to this training is that this is a Pan-African training. So we have participants from all over Africa coming in. So you'll get a very unique opportunity to network with these business owners, get to learn from them, reflect on the issues that you're all currently facing, so that together we can be able to leverage on those relationships to build our businesses. The other key thing is to ensure that we are able to understand our finance aspect of the finance aspect of our businesses, because I'm sure we all know that cash is king, and especially in this context of COVID, we have to be prudent with how we get to manage that. So through this program, you'll be able to better understand your cash flow, your revenue, your costs, and find out a better way of just having to streamline that so that your business can actually be able to grow in that context, all right? And then one amazing thing that we've also seen is that we have partners who've come alongside us to be able to help entrepreneurs and business owners like yourself. So at times, these partners will call out for people to apply for subsidized loans or funding grants. And if you're going through this particular program, you stand a higher chance of benefiting from such opportunities. So as I talk about all these things that, all these great things that this program is going to do for you, allow me to just go a bit deeper so that you can get to understand on how we get to take you through this particular engagement. So the question that we are all asking is, what does our businesses need to grow? And one of the things that we realize is all our businesses need to be put on a higher level when it comes to planning, all right? So what we do is, in this particular program, we will help you to set your goals, because I'm sure that in this group, and for every business owner out there, there are things that you'd want to meet. There's certain business targets that you'd want to meet in your business in the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years down the line. So we help you to reorganize your activities so that they are in line with what you want to achieve. And we give you practical tools that will enable you to track your growth so that you're able to continuously hit the business targets that you set for yourself and for your team. The other thing is closely related to what I've touched on before is your customers and markets. In as much as we are still struggling to understand the effects of COVID in our businesses, and we are trying to transition our business to into various spaces, it's very important to realize that our customers still need to hear from us. We need to get a bit closer to them. And we also need to find out ways in which we can be able to better manage our customers and markets so that we can always ensure that our sales continue to grow. So we will give you practical tools that will enable you to do just that. The other thing that we are going to focus on, the other key pillar, is with regard to managing your money. And I'm sure all of us can clearly attest that cash is indeed king when it comes to running a business. But in this space where we find ourselves in, we need to be a bit more prudent when it comes to how we get to manage that. So we will give you practical tools that will enable you to track your cash, ensure that you are profitable. We look at your budget and how to get to analyze data and make better business decisions moving forward. Because we are all aware that you can't scale on just on gut feeling, but with data, then you're able to position your organization for growth. The other thing that we want to really focus on is your people and talent, and just give you proper tools that will enable you to better manage your team and ensure that no one is left behind, even as we get to strive for growth in our different businesses. And then last but not least, through this program, you'll get practical tools that will enable you to streamline your operations, be able to track your inventory, negotiate with your suppliers, manage your operations, and ensure that you're always at the top of your value chain. So that is what you get from this particular program. It's a 6-month virtual training program. And one of the things that I would want to just bring attention is that this is going to be a program like no other that you've ever seen. Reason being, we really focus on human-centered learning. What do I mean by that? We do not have boring lectures. I'm sure if you've been with us since we started this conversation, you've seen how energetic and how we try as much as possible to get to network with each other and get to learn from one another. So you'll get a unique opportunity to engage with our world-class facilitators and also interactive peer groups. The other thing that we focus on and why we are different is we give you practical tools that are contextualized to what you're going through, and tools that will be able to transform your business and take it from one level to the next level. The other thing that why we are different is because our content is we've created our content in a manner that you'll be able to download them and get to use them just when you need it, and be able to tackle the different issues that your business is going through. Right? So that's what AMI is here. And for this particular program, we are happy to just let you know that we've had 2 very good testaments. Very many several businesses have just come back and just said thank you for the amazing work that you helped us, that you did, and our business are thriving. So 91% of businesses who've completed the Survive to Thrive program say that their business are stronger. We have several others who are still going through this particular program, and we can definitely see the improvement in their businesses, right? And to this extent, we are grateful for the huge number of entrepreneurs and business owners across Africa who've managed to go through our program, the Survive to Thrive program. And we are so happy to see them actually no longer surviving, but actually thriving. And you can join, you can also be part of this story, so that you can also stand on the shoulders of giants, even as we get to redeem our businesses and push them to the next level. So ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to take part into this amazing program, and I'll be able to share with you a link on the chat box where you'll be able to just click and find your way into applying for this particular program. The good news that we have for you this evening is that for a very limited time, and because of the awesome work that MombasaWorks is doing, we are able to offer you full scholarship for this particular program, and you'll be able to come in, not only yourself, but we'll give you the grace to also nominate 2 other members from your team to join into the program for free, so that we can be able to transform all our businesses. So ladies and gentlemen, that is from me with regards to AMI and the amazing opportunity that Survive to Thrive has for you this evening. Thank you so much. Over to you, Cindy.
Fantastic. Thank you, Harold. Thank you for that. And what an amazing opportunity that we often hear, is that entrepreneurs, founders want to come to something, want to be part of a program, but their team, there's usually no space for their team as well. So that's a fantastic opportunity. Thank you. We can't wait to share it with the rest of the community. So we just have a poll before we get into the panel discussion. And I'm just going to launch it there. And it's what best describes your business experience in the past 18 months. I know there's been varied responses, so looking forward to hearing those. And as you complete that poll, Harold, over to you to invite the panelists and just to kick off the discussion. I think you're muted, Harold.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. So we can continue voting. I can see we are at 50%. So ladies and gentlemen, we can continue voting even as we get to go on with our interaction this evening. And as we do that, allow me to take this awesome opportunity to welcome the amazing panelists that we have this evening. We have Nziza Musyoki, who's the founder of Kufamba Africa, and Dr. Paul Mango, founder of Amra Healthcare. So ladies and gentlemen, like we did initially, please put your digital hands together, or your physical hands if you choose to do so, or do that, or you can unmute yourself and just do ululation so that we can get to have our panelists just come in and share with us and just make them feel very welcome. So ladies and gentlemen, for the next 5 seconds, do whatever you please just to welcome our awesome panelists. Awesome, thank you. So probably Nziza and Dr. Paul, you can put your videos on so that we can get to see you. All right, I can see Nziza.
Yes.
Nziza, probably you can take this opportunity to let us know a bit more about what you do at Kufamba Africa, and then we can proceed to our panel discussion of this evening.
Right. My name is Nziza Musyoki. I'm the founder of Kufamba Africa. I started Kufamba Africa in 2012. At a time I was out of a job and living in Mombasa. And so because I loved traveling and everyone was calling me to ask me about hotels and stuff, I thought, that's an opportunity, you strike while the iron is hot. But in 2013, then I moved to Nairobi and I started working. I moved back to Nairobi and I started working, and I've worked throughout up to 2018. And so Kufamba was basically on the sidelines. It's a boutique travel agency. And so I did it sort of like a side hustle, so to speak. But in 2018, when I left the organization I was working for, I went full-time now into Kufamba, and I started, I registered it and I got our feet off the ground. And at this time, I also stumbled upon MombasaWorks because I stumbled upon their sign at some post when I was thinking Mombasa should have co-working spaces exactly for this. And then I saw the MombasaWorks sign at Avenue Building. And so that is when our partnership started. And it was like a blessing in disguise for us, because then when everything is picking up and 2019 was going great, 2020 hits. And in March, everything came to a standstill. So that is basically our journey for Kufamba Africa, I think.
All right. That's amazing. That's amazing. And thank you for, sparing of your time to come and share with us. We do not take that for granted. It's a pleasure and indeed an honor to have you with us this evening. And now, Dr. Paul, are you there with us?
Yes, Harold.
All right. Awesome. Karibu, Dr. Paul. You can just introduce yourself and also let us know what you do.
Asante sana, Harold. As I've heard, my name is Dr. Paul Mango, the founder of Amra Herbal Healthcare, main office based in Mombasa, but also having affiliated branches across the country. Well, in Amra, we are practitioners in pharmacognosis, the study of herbal medicines, research, dispensing, and other concerns. Amra was founded in 2012, and back by that time I was employed. But what could ring in my mind that one time maybe the issues of being employed at times could go sour. So I started side hustling about the same industry. Thereby I developed about the Amra. Besides being a pharmacognosist, I'm also a specialist in entrepreneurship and business management. I think that gave me an upper hand to start my own business. So Amra is doing well. It has actually faced a number of challenges, but we thank God that we're able to maneuver around. Dr. Paul is also a founder of a number of organizations and a mentor. We have what we call a West Hager self-help group, now transformed into a limited company, a New Western Youth Group, which is also doing well. Having good relationship with the Equity Bank, we're able to work well, to mentor others, and having been introduced to the Army or Africa Management Institute, I need to appreciate God. There's a lot I've learned that can be able now to make our business move ahead. So you have a wide experience in business. We've learned a lot, we've helped a lot, and we're able to share what we've learned so that others can also be able to emulate and perhaps put their business on a standing feet. So I appreciate much. In a brief, that's what Amra is. Not forgetting, currently, Dr. Paul Mango, I'm the best Chief Executive Officer, that's CEO, in alternative healthcare across Africa, having crowned this back just in July 15th in Dubai. I appreciate everyone who voted for me, having actually fought that for that chance. Among the 5 top countries, South Africa, Ghana, Egypt, Kenya, we did well. So I appreciate much. Thank you, Harold.
Thank you, Dr. Paul. And first and foremost, when Dr. Paul was speaking, I just remembered how, well, I didn't get the chance to drop biology in high school. Biology actually dropped me. So it's amazing that we have people like Dr. Paul who were able to push on and now they're doing amazing things. And then also for everyone else who's not in Mombasa, like myself, we hope that one day we'll also get to go down south to Mombasa and have this meeting in person. Thank you, Caesar, also for sharing with us and just being here. All right, so I just want to get into the first question. So to both of you, I'd want to hear from you. What effects did COVID, if any, what effects did COVID-19 have on your businesses? So probably you can start with Caesar, and then Dr. Paul will be able to share with us. What effects did COVID-19 have on your businesses?
Being in the tourism industry, everything came to a standstill. I remember our last guests left, I think a few days after the president had announced the lockdown. And then the rain really started to beat us, because then you see you're getting cancellations and you have to start issuing refunds. You know, at the beginning, everyone thought it's just 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But then after that, when you started going through the news, you realize that it's serious business. And we had to issue refunds. But we also had people who have been our clients who told us, no, just hang on to the money. There's no need to refund us. We'll just travel when it opens, because the world has to open at some point. And although our businesses suffered in that sense, it also gave us time to slow down, because, you know, when you're running a business, you're always on your toes. And so during that time, during 2020, it gave us a chance to go through our business processes and to look at the business processes and curate our partnership lists and to look at who we work with, to look at our clients, and to look at other avenues of income at this point in time.
All right. Thank you, Caesar. Dr. Paul, how did COVID-19 affect your business?
Thank you very much, Harold. Actually, the pandemic had adverse impact on the businesses across the board. Being in the healthcare industry, actually we had challenges, because one, there were a number of numerous things, like Caesar has put it, having the lockdown, the curfew issues. We are in a position that could not be able to reach to our clients. So one, there was actually reduced customer flow. As we compared maybe the other time that we used to have customers, we find that number of customers visiting our clinics and our healthcare shops had reduced dramatically. This is because one, perhaps those patients or their clients, their source of income had cut off, so they had no way to raise or to manage their healthcare concern. Actually, having reduced number of customers visiting our shops or our clinics, we also experienced what we call reduced cash flow. So we could not even make or manage to meet our liabilities and our obligations, like the bills. So we had to negotiate with our suppliers, we had to negotiate with even the landlords, so that can be able to work out in terms of other liabilities. The other areas that we had as a negative impact of COVID-19 is about the manpower inefficiency. The manpower inefficiency, some of our work staffs, in fact, they were in a panic mode. They could ask themselves questions now, do we have a future ahead? Having such a things are being at hand because the business path is not running well. So when an employee or a staff maybe saying that there's actually issue of tenure, job tenure, they has a problem, then they might tend to go slow, not being effective and at the same time not being efficient. So our operations sometimes became a problem. So we also had a problem where that now we could not be able to move around because, you know, to have a production industry to go on, the concerned people have to move around. You have to do a study, you have to visit other areas for resource mobilization or sourcing. But now we could not make it. So the terms of operations were hindered. But in other way, you see, everything has a negative way, but there's also an attached a positive impact. What I can say is that COVID-19 had a small impact that was positive to our business. Having a business that actually was healthcare oriented, and COVID itself is a healthcare condition or a problem, then, and also being an alternative healthcare section, there was high need of a subsidiary or complementary medication to boost the immunity, able to mitigate other issues that could not be handled in hospitals. So we had a positive impact that could make us to move a bit of it, and it gave us a hope. Despite the fact having a negative side, we also say that there was a positive side that helped us to survive.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. And indeed, from what the two of you have shared, it's very clear that entrepreneurship is not for the faint-hearted. And I know especially the tourism sector was greatly hit, and so did the healthcare and quite a number of other industries. So it's really interesting to have you guys share with us this evening to that aspect. I know, Caesar, you've alluded to this, but let me just get to ask you again. How did you ensure that your business did not get to close down during the pandemic? Because we saw quite a number of businesses close down. So I'd want to hear from you. What are the practical steps and practical ways you ensure that your business did not close down during that period?
What we did at first was we handled our operations, because then your operations is where the cash flow goes. And so we were lucky, especially, partnering with MombasaWorks. Cindy and her team are they're very proactive. In fact, they came to us with solutions of how to handle our leases and what we had to offer. So in that point, when others were having rental headaches, the MombasaWorks team handled that for us, and they held our hand throughout the year, and they understood. So you see, when you have a partnership like that, the space to work from is one of the biggest headaches for an organization. So that helped us. The other thing we did is we outsourced. You see, instead of having an in-house accountant, we then outsourced. We know someone who started their own accounting agency during this time. So we started working with them. At that point, then you're paying someone on a need basis. And so this is what we did with all our partnerships. We created our contracts around a need basis and cash basis, because we did not want to be caught in the debt, because you don't at this point. The COVID showed us that tomorrow is not guaranteed. And so we created contracts that cover us, cover the clients, and also cover our partners.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Cindy, just allow me to ask Dr. Paul one more question before you get to release the poll. Then after that, we'll continue the questions. All right. So Dr. Paul, I know that you took part in the Survive to Thrive program. So I'd want to hear from you. What made you apply into the program? And yes, what made you apply into the program? And how was it going through that particular program?
Thank you very much, Harold. Having had the pandemic at hand, so there are numerous of challenges we're facing. So like like any other entrepreneur, you could scratch your mind, what can I do next? So one thing that actually made me to apply for the Army program, Survive to Thrive, one, I needed to acquire more knowledge, to expand the knowledge that I had to run a business, so that I can also be able to maybe to make my business survive during this crisis. Thanks to God that I was able to be enrolled in that program, which I went through successfully and graduated. There was other area that I wanted to expose myself, the exposure with the business, to other business players, to understand like what you are going through. Have they gone through such issues? How are they managing and mitigating the issues at hand? So those were some of the other major reasons why that I decided I should seek more knowledge from Army and that exposure. Thereafter, so that I can be able to do what you call networking. You know, all business, they need to have a networking session in different industries or across the same industries. I wanted also to bring my team, my staff, what you call a team building and motivation. Like, you know, if you actually give an opportunity to your staff to such a like training, they feel a sense of belonging to the business. As I said earlier, some of them were demotivated because of the pandemic at hand. They became inefficient. So the way maybe I could work out is actually find a way they can be motivated. They can have a sense of belonging to the business. That's why we opted as a team of Amra Herbal Clinic to enroll in Army programs. Then also we are looking forward. Things were not that good. Things were relevant in the house. So we thought that, okay, now should we have a networking session? Should we have somewhere that we can also call a room or call a home for us to air out our views, to have a listening ear? I need to thank Army that actually they actually gave us that a listening ear. Having trained, having given us the required knowledge, they also went ahead to link us with the other financial institutions. So that was another thing that I wanted, an institution that could recommend me to that platform. The way I was recommended to Army, so I wanted also that Army could also recommend me to other platforms so that our business can be able to be taken to another level. So those are major reasons why we, or I, as the leader of AMRA, I sought for Army. Thank you, Harold.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Paul. And as we continue this conversation, we also want to hear from you. You've already told us you've responded to the poll. So Cindy is going to take us through the results of the poll, and then we'll come back with Nsinza, and so that we can continue this awesome conversation. Back to you, Cindy.
Yeah. Thanks, Harold. So we have, I think, just one more outstanding vote. I think most of us have voted. So the question was, what best describes you or your business's experience in the past 18 months? And 50% say that they experienced high growth in the last 18 months. And the other 50% say they had stagnated growth, but they're seeing signs of recovery. And Harold, in case you can't see the rest of the questions, the other two options were either that they closed the business and started tarmacking for a job, or they closed the business and they started a new venture, both of which had zero response.
All right. Clearly, we can tell this is a very hopeful. These are very hopeful number of attendees. So, sorry, I think there's, yes, Joseph, you can kindly mute yourself. Good. Awesome. Thank you, Joseph. I love the hope that is here. And I like, I'm so happy to see that, you know, the people who are experiencing high growth, and we are definitely here to let you know that we can work with you to even grow more. And then also the people who are seeing signs of recovery, there's definitely hope, and you are in the right place to have your business move to the next level. Thank you so much for taking part in that poll. And Caesar and Paul, just coming from the poll that we've just seen, how important is it for SMEs to plan for contingencies? And how have you implemented this in your business? Because yes, COVID has hit most of the businesses, but I'm sure, I don't want to say it, but probably this might not be the only challenge that we face as entrepreneurs moving forward. So how important is it for SMEs to plan for contingencies, and how have you implemented this in your business? So we can start with Caesar, then we'll go to Dr. Paul.
I think as a, you know, not even specifically SMEs, I think generally in life, it's very important to plan for contingencies, especially, you know, a lot of us were caught flat-footed. No one had a thought that there would be anything like that would shut down the world, because that's what happened. And, you know, I think from now on, the plan should start with, make sure that what you're doing makes sense. You know, at some point we were going all out. You know, it's a business. Maybe I've made 5 sales today. And so I tell myself, next month I want to get 100 sales. And to make the 100 sales, I need to buy A, B, C, D, and then you come and stock everything. And you see, at that point, if anything goes wrong, you're left, you know, you're left with bad debt. And I think it's very important for organizations to now start planning start taking calculated steps. I'll give an example, like for Famba Africa, because some of the things we are doing is before COVID, we were focused on hotel bookings and maybe transfers. And so during COVID, we realized that there was a market in the what we call Airbnb sector. But remember, you know, a hotel is regulated because this person has to get a certificate and they have to get Ministry of Health clearance, etc. But an Airbnb house, you're not sure who you're working with. Enter people like Veronica, because we work a lot with Veronica. And you see, when we started picking out who specifically we wanted to work with, it stopped being about the money, because now, like you see, like Dr. Paul Mango has said, health is very important. I will not come and say, Harold tells me I need a 3-bedroom in Mombasa, and then I just come and put you in a 3-bedroom. I need to know where this is. What are their cleaning strategies? So you see, for every organization, I think how we plan, how we are doing business now has totally changed, and everyone needs to have a contingency plan. If A fails, what are you going to do? Because then this will also happen. There's going to be short-term issues, then there's going to be long-term issues. Then what are you going to do at this point? What plans do you have in place for that?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. And thank you, Caesar. Dr. Paul?
Once more, thank you, Harold. Well, a contingent plan, what is it? This is an alternative plan. This is a situational plan that any business or anyone, I need to echo what Nziza said, that is not only for SMEs, is actually across the board, even in a homestead. Now, reason why, or how is it important for anyone, for an SMEs, to have a contingent plan? For sure, the future is quite uncertain. No one knows, apart from God, what holds future. What can happen in the next minute, we can't tell. So it's very important that anyone, any SMEs, any business, any company must have an alternative plan in eventuality of a that's quite uncertain can happen. The important is that One, there will be continuity of work. However, maybe it can be disrupted on a certain level, but there will be at least a continuity of work in a particular firm, in a particular business. Another important is that there will be reliability, or there will be a reliable source of credit. Assuming I've done some sort of savings, I've invested in something else, that eventually something happens, I can be able to get this kind of resources, then inject back to my business. So I have assured that there is at least reliable credit to maintain my business going on. So it also gives hope to the staffs. They see there is a sense of belonging, or there's future, there is job tenure. But in case there is no content plan, some employees, they live like they don't know if they will report to work tomorrow. So some of them might become inefficient. But if you assure them, and if there's a vision that has a content plan, they will work like they know their life actually belongs there. So it's very important in that case. Now, for us, like Amra Herbal Healthcare, we had also, or we have content plans that are in place. And some of them are, one, we have what's called database backup. Like now, the pandemic came in. We were told that work from home. Now, like here in Mombasa, things were cruel. You could not move around unless you are offering essential services, like for us in healthcare section. But now you are told stay at home. There's crackdown, there's curfew, there's lockdown. You can't access some of the data of the information, maybe from workplace. But now you have them like on a soft copy. You can be able to reach out to a supplier, make a negotiation. The supplier can be able also to release goods through other means. You can able to check to, we are able to check to our clients because we had their contacts, we had that database. So we are able to work out. Two, establishment of mutual understanding and relationship with the other players. That one has to be done in advance. So that like in eventuality, there's something has happened. For example, maybe the business was or has been financed by a given institution, call it a bank or something else, then things have gone that way. If at all he had not established a mutual relationship with that particular institution, then meeting your obligation might be an issue. 2 or 3, training and mentoring the staffs or the employees is also a contingent plan. So in a crisis, they're in a position to manage. They're in a position to absorb the shock that comes with a crisis. If they are not trained, they are not mentored, when it comes by that time, you will find that everything actually becomes a standstill or at a stall. But if you are trained, you personally, the head or the leader, you've gone through mentorship, you've gone through crisis management, disaster management, you've gone through a number of things, the ups and downs of businesses, the inflation issues, you are aware of it, you are able to absorb the shock. You are able to accept and make a faster move that is actually reliable for the business. 3, you need to have a mind that is future-oriented, a complementary business. Relying on one business is not a best option. So there must be a content plan. In case this one fails, I might be in a position like tomorrow or the other day to start another line of business that can make me to thrive. We found people went online. People who are formerly employed, they lost their jobs. Those who are sharp enough, they were able to sustain their life because they went to work online and things were booming online and still they're booming online. So having complementary business plans in a position, they're able to help you to have a life that is continuing. Finally, saving habits. Some of business or some of our entrepreneurs, they live like today only, tomorrow they will not live. We also see that there's tomorrow. Business are a perpetual continuity. I might be there today, tomorrow I might not be there. So I need to have a habit of saving. I need to empower my staffs, next of kin, because we find some of the business are a family owned or sole proprietorship. So we need also to bring other people on board. The crisis is not only pandemic, even death. Someone can die, an entrepreneur can die like tomorrow. We are talking today. Tomorrow is here. Dr. Paul Mark's not there. So we need to have a conscious plan. Who is next to be able to make this business move ahead? So those are key things actually we are putting up in our business. Like for Amra, my staffs, my next of kin, they are well oriented in the business. For eventuality, they are able to take over. Thank you, Harold.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Paul. That is very insightful. And since allow me to just pick up from where Dr. Paul has left off, and I know you've also alluded to this, I'd want to hear from you. What would you tell businesses that are contemplating, say, transitioning locations or diversifying their products and services? Because I know that is one of the things that you actually did. So what would you tell businesses that are in that space? Because change can be very scary. So just share with us your take on that.
First of all, you have to understand what are you changing into? Why are you changing? You know, you need to understand, am I changing because I've seen so and so doing it and it seems to work for them? Copy pasting doesn't necessarily work for you. So you need to do your research first. Ensure that what you're doing, change is scary, but change is also constant. Today is not like tomorrow, and yesterday was not like today. There's always change in life, but you need to be very well prepared for it and talk to the people. As you know, Dr. Paul Mango has mentioned something, you know, the people in the industry are your friends. Don't, as much as they're your competitors, they're also your friends. There's someone, you can be in the same industry and you'll ask someone, I want to do ABCD, and they'll tell you, you know, I tried doing ABCD in this place. If you find an honest person, I tried doing ABCD, it didn't work out, but this did work out. So maybe you can try and look at it in that way. Talk to people in the industry, find mentors, talk to your peers, do your research online. You know, luckily now, almost everything is put online, and there's a lot of, as much as there's a lot of misinformation, there's also a lot of good information online that you can find. Pivoting and changing and diversifying is very important. And I think every business should have at least, or every business person should have at least a diverse portfolio. Don't really focus on one thing. If today you're doing one thing and it has picked up, try and add something else, try and add complementary services. Even if at first you're doing it on a contract basis with someone else, or you're bringing in a consultant, just make sure that, you know, you can test the waters. You don't have to go in, you know, all fit in and the whole body. For example, I've seen a lot of people who are moving to Mombasa and someone says they're moving into Mombasa, they don't know what they want to do. Some of the recommendations I've given even to my friends is come and work at MombasaWorks, because not only does that give you, even when they're on holidays, not only does that give you that feeling of being in an office, you also get to meet other entrepreneurs and you get to make networks and you get to understand. Another important thing that Dr. Paul Mango has mentioned is including your team. Your team is very important. And remember, as much as you as a company or as a company owner, you're feeling panicked or you're feeling afraid, but imagine what this person is thinking about. Will I have a job tomorrow? Will I have a job the day after? So as he said, they're living a day at a time. They don't know when you'll come and tell them, I don't have the money. So we've shut down, we closed the company, because we saw a lot of that happening. So ensure that your team is involved, because your team is what sells the company as well. It's not necessarily you, especially in the hospitality industry. As you can see from the gates, if the askari is rude, your business is done. It's just, you know, no one wants to eat. It's all about service, and it's all about the synergy in a team. So if you're going to pivot, make sure that you talk to people. Make sure that you talk to people in the industry, but also don't be afraid. If it's something that you know you're good at, go for it. You know, you learn at the end of it. It's either it will work or it won't work, but both ways you'll benefit from it.
Wow. Thank you. And as you continue this conversation, please feel free to drop your questions on the chat. We'll read them, and so that the awesome panelists can be able to respond to them. So please, let's get to engage on our chat box. You can put down your question, then we'll be able to pick it from there. So as we do that, Dr. Paul, I have a question for you. So let's switch gears and now talk about cash, right? So let's talk about revenue and cash flow. How was it before you joined the Survive to Thrive program? And how is it now? And did you develop any long-term plan to help you grow your revenue moving forward?
Yeah, thank you very much, Harold. Before I joined the army, surely as you compare, as per now, after going through the army, there is a positive increment in our income or the revenue college. At least we register very significant results that are between 15 to 25%, a positive growth, not stagnant, but a positive growth. So I need to allude that one to the knowledge and skills plus the business tools that actually I was imparted from the army programs. Having gone through the army programs, we learned a lot. And from thereafter, I was able with my team to start implementing some of them, to start reinforcing those that we had already in place, but maybe they were not on the right track. Like the strategy we have, one of which is to ensure that there's quality standardization. Because nowadays, it's not about the prices. The prices of goods was a factor sometimes. Of course, I'm not denying, but people are actually are preferring the quality product. Will this fit my preference? Will it fit my taste? So we are working on a quality standardization across the board, observing our business portfolios. We are also looking and establishing what we call a client database, so that we can have a reliable database to manage our clients, to reach to our clients, to have the feedback from our clients. We understand business without clients is not a business. So we have a strategy to establish a very clean, reliable, very viable database as far as our client is concerned, as well as our suppliers and the other needs, and even our competitors, because you have to benchmark well. And if you need to benchmark well, you have a strategy that can be able to work out on the market space. We are looking at flexible platforms for us to market ourselves. We are trained in army that nowadays, like every business, has transformed to social media platform. So we have a strategy. How can we transform our business to almost 100% to social media, be it marketing, be it outsourcing, or other management? So that's a strategy. We need some skills to put in place. We need some technology. So also is a strategy that we have at hand, that we are implementing one after other, or the other one is going concurrently with the other one. The other one that's very important, the vision, the objectives, and organization branding. There are those organizations like look at or talk about Safaricom. Safaricom has branded itself or rebranded itself. Everyone is talking about Safaricom. You want money transfer, soft money, Safaricom, because of M-Pesa. So there are products that actually wanted them to brand our institution, and already we've done that one. We have selected some products that are charging the market. That one talks about that product, it must come from Amra Herbal Healthcare. So you have what's called a branding of organization using the key products on our line of industry. Finally, people management. As Zinza has said, in Kufamba, Africa, managing people is very important. We need to take people as part of the business, the employees part of the business, not a liability. They are assets. And if you have a valuable asset, you have to manage it very well. So like the training, the mentorship, the exposure. So those are part of the strategies that Amra Herbal Healthcare we are putting into place. And we are praying to God that help us to see us through and get a success point. And every areas that I'm concerned as a leader, as I mentioned, I'm a leader in various platforms, in various groups, in various entities. That's what I take there. Thank you very much, Harold.
Thank you so much. Thank you, our panelists. Indeed, we have learned a lot, quite a lot from what you've shared with us. And as I wait for everyone else to just, ask their questions, Cindy, do you have any question to our panelists?
Harold?
Yes.
Can I add something on what Dr. Paul Mango has just spoken about?
Yes, please.
I think he's spoken a lot about Army, and I'd like to advise maybe any organization or any leader that has not gone through a training program like this to make sure that they join, because the opportunity that you are offering, especially, as an organization, you don't understand, you think you have, the financing and the marketing and branding and your presence. And I think, you see, like the Africa Management Institute would give you the tools, especially finance. Finance is very tricky. As a company owner, you rarely pay yourself. So you're running a business, you don't pay yourself, you're paying other people. I don't know, you don't think that the M-Pesa transaction charges are actually a cost. You should, and I think the tools that you offer would be really helpful, especially for those who are starting off, to start off on the right footing and have their finances in order and their plan in order. And also the ones who are continuing, it teaches you. I've been through one of these trainings, and I'm really, really grateful for it. But it teaches you how to keep a track of everything that is going on, to look, to have your eye on what is going on in the organization. Because I think some of us are, you cannot be everything in the organization. You cannot be finance and marketing and sales and, logistics. You can't. So I think it would be very important, especially since you're offering it for 3 people in one team, pick the key. If you pick the 3 key people, then it's such a big asset, and I hope people actually pick it.
Right. Thank you, Nsiva. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to engaging with all the businesses that are represented here in the Survive to Thrive program, because we know that for sure we can definitely transform our organizations for the better. So, Cindy, do you have any question to our great panelists?
No, for me, I think I'm still soaking it in. I think there's a couple of things things that I'd not quite heard before. I love this line about manpower inefficiency, for example, because I think we take for granted. I think, yeah, we can take for granted the effect, the intangible things that we can't quite put our finger on, but it is affecting delivery, and it's simply just human emotion and fear. And fear of the unknown. And I think that is something as a leader, personally in my own capacity, I can tell you that during COVID-19, it really brought home just how much I had to learn as a leader, how to manage and lead people. So I think that's something that stuck with me. And then the other things, as I said, about seeing your people in the ecosystem, up and down the value chain, your potential competitors, they're not competitors per se. Everybody's delivering something unique, has a unique value proposition, and it's true. I think post-COVID, and during COVID, and as we're starting to come out of it a little bit, there was a much bigger effort for collaboration, at least in our space as hubs, as entrepreneur support organizations. There was a push for that, and it made us realize that we'd had our head in the sand, always focusing on our own programs, always trying to keep the lights on in our own spaces, and sometimes for good reason. But I think I think this message about seeing others in the ecosystem not as competitors but as collaborators. I mean, there's a rising tide is going to lift all the boats. There's enough to go around. So I think that those are 2 really key points that I've taken away from Nzisa and Paul, and so I'm very, very grateful. Yeah, thank you, Harold. Harold, I believe you're on mute.
All right. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And as we come to the end of our conversation this evening, I'd like to request everyone to just go to the chat box and type out any one or two things that you've picked from our conversation today. And as you get to do that, I'll throw one curveball to Dr. Paul and Caesar. I'm sure they were not expecting this. Could you kindly tell us how you came up with your with the names for your organization? So that's AMRA and Kufamba, so that you can also get to hear a bit more about your creativity, even as you started your business journey.
And can I just add also, Dr. Paul, yes. Mango, Nago, I've seen Mangois somewhere. So please tell us also the origin of not the origin, maybe just the correct spelling. You can leave it there.
Thank you. Thank you, Caesar. Well, it is mango, the fruit. Maembe in English.
Ah, okay.
You got it?
I got it. I have a question, but it's okay. I'll that one
Well, maybe I'll start response to Aaron. Is that the right time?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Aaron, are we together?
Yes, yeah, yes, we are.
Well, I think Harold, you asked a very good question. How or why did we come up with the names to our enterprises or the organizations? Creativity and innovation must play a role in every business. Now, the basic meaning of AMRA, it stands for this. A stands for alternative, M, medicine, R, restoration, A, advancement. What does it mean? Alternative, medicines, restoration, advancement. Well, alternative medicine should be the conventional medicines. But now since the European or the Western, if it came, then they try to replace what was the original medicines, which are the ancient medicines. We accepted. Now, having accepted that now our sector is alternative and complementary medicines, what we're looking for as the AMRA is how we can be able to restore the glory of our ancient medicines. That way back, our grandparents, our great-great-great-grandparents used this particular way to treat people. But those days, they did in a way that it was not advanced, not modernized. For AMRA, we are restoring the value and the glory of herbal medicines, the natural medicines, but advancing them, giving the value addition. The value addition in essence that nowadays you have herbal medicine in capsules, you have the herbal medicine in tablets, we have the herbal medicine in tinctures and syrups. So it's now the different way we now collect the whole plant, the holistic plant. Or you find that someone has given the whole plant, go and boil this one, put an jerrycan, bring it for 5 days. It has gone beyond that one. And AMRA is leading. That's why you are the best of best in Africa in terms of managing alternative healthcare. Thank you very much, Harold.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Paul. AMRA, at least now we know where the name comes from. Caesar, Kufamba Africa.
Yes.
Let us in on what was going through your mind when you came up with this particular name.
Yes. As much as the company was started in Kenya, my vision was that I wanted to show off our beautiful continent because we have one of the best continent. Well, if I do say so myself, we live in one of the most beautiful continents on earth. And therefore, Kufamba is basically a Southern African name that means to walk or to move. So my vision was to walk Africa, like let's move and see Africa, let's walk around Africa and see it. Even our logo is a footprint. So Kufamba Africa is to just that movement of walking and seeing what we have to offer in Africa. And you know, as much as I started it as a travel agency, just, you know, to go on vacation, then we've started looking at different things. We've started looking at touring tea farms and touring historical sites and, you know, agricultural tourism. I think even we can talk with Dr. Paul Mango, you know, to look at, you know, the medical tourism. There are people he can train in terms of what they need. I know a lot of people are going into processing of their own, you know, herbal stuff at home and selling it into the market. And you see, putting them together with, I mean, linking them up with what with Dr. Paul Mango, then for us, that is part of tourism. You know, there's medical tourism. Tourism is not about vacation. It's very diverse. So that was what Kufamba Africa is. Harold?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, now I can hear
Sorry.
you.
So I think I was talking to myself for
Yes,
a bit there.
yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Caesar and Dr. Paul, for the amazing session that we've had with you. We've definitely learned quite a bit. So even as we come to the end of our session this evening, I'd like to reiterate to everyone that we have full scholarship for you, so that you can be able to take your business through the Survive to Thrive program. This is a 6-month virtual training program where we are going to really focus on your business and help you to build and also be able to scale. So take full advantage of this particular scholarship because it's here for a limited duration of time. And also want to extend our thanks to MombasaWorks for allowing us to get to connect with the awesome entrepreneurs in the ecosystem. So thank you so much, Cindy. And if you do want to get in touch with me, if you have any questions with regard to the program or how you can be assisted in one way or another, kindly get in touch with me. Those are my details. We'll also reach out to you after this webinar. So you can call me. That's my number. You can call me anytime. You can also send me a WhatsApp chat. You can SMS me and I'll be able to get in touch with you and walk you through your application and enrollment into this amazing program. Right. Cindy, back to you.
Yes, I believe that we have come to the end of our session. You've given me the honors to close the session.
Yes, please.
Okay. So I'm on behalf of MombasaWorks. I would like to just say a very big thank you to our two panelists, Nzisa and Dr. Paul, and just to congratulate you on where you've come so far, and to thank you for being so open and generous with what you have shared and the experiences that you've shared with us during this past hour and a half. I want to thank the other entrepreneurs who have joined us in this discussion. Thank you so much for taking the time. And lastly, to AMI, thank you for reaching out to us. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity that you have shared with us. We look forward to future collaboration going forward. And we hope to see an uptake of this amongst our community here in Mombasa. So it is 6:33. Mine is to wish you all a lovely evening and thank you for keeping time. And until we meet again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.